Broadway, listen to the Broadway beats. Broadway makes you wanna move your feet. Everybody's tapping into everything that's happening on Broadway beats. Broadway beats. Broadway beats. Broadway beats.
Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway Beat. The new musical Catch Me If You Can, which is playing at the Neil Simon Theater, has a Tony Award-winning Dream Team. It has a book by Terrence McNally, a score by Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman, choreography by Jerry Mitchell, and direction by Jack O'Brien. It stars Tony Award winner Norbert Leo Butz, Aaron Tveit, Tom Wopat, and Kerry Butler. We're here on opening night to celebrate with the company.
True story. I got a story I'd like to tell, but I'm gonna need help to tell it well. I got a story about fame and money, and it's got more curves than a Playboy bunny.
What attracted you originally to the story, Jack?
The fact that it was real. I was stunned. We never get a chance to do a show that's about something that actually happened. And it's hard to believe, but this guy pulled this off. He actually, from the time he was 18, 19 years old, he did all these things. So it is perfect fodder for a musical, and we got the team to pull it off.
It kind of has the elements of Les Mis, you know, a criminal being pursued by someone who will not stop, who will not give up. And I like that. I love the movie. And I love what it says, the need for young people to have strong parental figures and redemption, that you can mess up big time, but if you meet the right people, they can extend you a helping hand to get yourself back on your feet.
For me, it always it goes back to I think a big thing is who the ensemble is. And when I saw the stewardesses, I thought, oh, well, yeah, that seems like a kick line, and nurses and FBI men. So that seemed like, oh, that's taken care of. So, but then when we delved into the story, it was about other things, obviously much deeper, about fathers, sons, mentors, and those are all things that had been floating around in both our heads for a while, and because we wrote Hairspray and it was about mothers, and it felt like it was time to put some balls, you know.
And for you, Mark, why you wanted to do, yeah. What attracted you to the book originally also?
The era of music is the last great time in America where there was just all these different styles all being presented to the public. And even if you were a kid like us watching Ed Sullivan maybe to see the Rolling Stones or Herman's Hermits or the Beatles, you also got to see Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra and Judy Garland and Stephen Eady, Bobby Darin. And you got to appreciate all this kind of music. I mean, when I was listening to the radio as a kid, in the middle of Diana Ross and the Supremes and the Beatles, Peggy Lee came on singing, "Is that all there is?"
I just listened to Stephen Eady, so I guess.
It is the whole Hairspray family, but it's a much different story. It's a true story, and it's one that's based on, you know, the later 60s, as opposed to Hairspray was the early 60s before Kennedy was assassinated. So it was a much sexier time, and I've got 10 sexy ladies to help me tell it.
So hang on tight, let's loop-de-loop. It's time to fly this ticket blue. So pack up your suitcase, let no worries stand in your Use the world to find your perfect playmate.
Things look better from above, so buckle up. Next stop is love.
From love to Tokyo, from Mozambique to Mexico, and the jet set is the only way to
I love that Brenda starts, you know, almost like closed off to relationships, and then she falls in love with the person who she did not want to fall in love with, and then she finds out that everything about him was a lie, and then she has this amazing song where she has to figure out, do I love him in spite, can I trust him, do I love him in spite of that, and are people really all good or all bad? And then, if I do love him that much, do I love him enough to let him go?
Yeah, now I wanna sing and fly, fly. I'll be your
No, it was the music that sold me on the show, and the music swings hard, especially the stuff I get to sing. So, I mean, that was really the primary thing. As I worked on it more and more, I kind of discovered that you can make a case that my role is the most dramatic role and has the most depth, you know, and definitely the strongest art as far as, you know, starting up here and ending up down there.
Sure, his sense of humor was lame.
Like father, like son.
Hey, lucky for me, so was his aim. If he had sewn some needlepoint that hung on the walls, it would have said, "Little man, grow some balls." Ball games that he missed, nights he came home pissed. Well, I don't think about that any longer.
Well, I'm playing Carl Hanratty, who is everybody calls the Tom Hanks part in the movie. You know, I didn't really remember the film. I didn't hear the music when I first got it. I got Terrence's script, and I just really connected to it on a level. I don't know, sort of I guess a visceral level. I just thought it was a beautiful story about redemption and family and identity, and so yeah, I play the guy who catches this guy over here.
But at the end of the day, I mean, this part is he's a lost kid looking for a family, looking for a home, looking for somebody to love him. I mean, his family falls apart at 16 years old, and you know, he's not old enough, even though he's so ingenious and smart, he's not old enough to just be by himself. He needs people, and you know, I spend the whole show until I find, you know, this person who's chasing me. We find each other, you know, and it's a story about fathers and sons, and it's just the most challenging, demanding thing I've ever come across, and it's the part of a lifetime that I came to at a very young age, so I'm so blessed to be getting to do this.
So come fly with me for a bird's eye view. I got the world in my command. And I'll be your one-man Disneyland. I don't wanna wait for the cops